Hello, everyone. It's my first presentation with naked foot, so we make it a little bit special today. Thanks for the warm introduction, Florian, and welcome here in Berlin in this nice location. It's unbelievable view from here. Wow.
Yeah, really impressive.
Okay.
You all look chilled, that's cool, so we are nervous enough for all of you. So, Henning, you play a Baraka mystic named Kazir. We added all of our characters to the sheet so that you all see that we play the game too. And the first thing you should tell us is, what is the vision behind TERA?
Okay. For talking about the vision, I need to create a big picture first. In the recent years, a lot of new MMOs arrived. Really cool MMOs, no doubt about that, with a lot of new features. But in the end, the way how you play those MMOs was always the same, especially the fighting system. So for Blue, it was the mission, hey, how we can upgrade the fighting system to make it completely unique and to add a main feature which enables a completely differentiation to their market. So they enabled the action-based combat system for, I would say, for breaking the old habits, the habits how you played games before, or breaking old mechanism. And we call it also an evolution of MMOs itself, because TERA will be famous later on for the controls, the way how you fight. Okay.
Yeah. We will. So, but go a little bit more into depth, Henning.
Yeah, I mean, I stand now here on the stage and I can tell you hey, how cool it is to play the action-based combat system of TERA, but I think it makes more sense to do it directly in a live presentation with Florian.
Therefore, I logged into my private account, and I will introduce you to the next very important person of this presentation, which would be Flo. I'm Florian, this is Flo. Flo is my Aman Lancer, and we are going to show you the world of TERA through his eyes. And we are going to have some fights and to show you a region you never saw before.
Yeah. So this is Westonia, a completely new area we haven't presented to you before. This is the second continent called Southern TERA. And as you can see, now it's a leveled 45 character, so Florian spent a lot of time on it. And he has already a cool-looking mount.
Yeah, what should be also new to you guys, that's the first time we present the mounts in TERA. So you will have various kinds of mounts, not only this horse, we'll see another horse later on, and we'll have other models there too. So right now we're on the left-hand continent. So, what do you
Southern TERA.
Yeah, Southern TERA. We are in a little city called Bleak Rock, and now heading straight towards Akarum, which is another little city located nearby. We are doing it via the so-called Pegasus system. Please introduce the Pegasus system to the editors.
It's a cute, funny guy. It's a Popori, one of the unique races of TERA. Later on, we will give you more details on this. He is part of the Pegasus system. The Pegasus system is a transport system of TERA. Imagine that all cities and villages are connected to a network with flying mounts or winged mounts, however you like. And the objective was to establish a transport system which is good looking, you will see it now, really impressive, but also to shorten it any distance. So in TERA, you will be available to have access to all regions in less than 5 minutes. By the way, Florian, you have chosen the tank.
Yeah.
Would you tell our audience the first time you played TERA, how you perceive the game?
Yeah, you mentioned that I have chosen the tank, and it's I always played the tanking class in MMOs. I really like it to be the big and heavy guy. So the first time I started TERA and being the Lancer was kind of a very impressive feeling, because it was the first time that I'm a real tank, that I feel like a real tank because of our collision detection. Yeah? You can stand in the first line of the battle, just put your bulwark to the ground, and no one can pass you if you don't want to. That's amazing. It's the first time I really feel that I can protect the weak fighters behind, the healers, the Sorgs. Yeah, I really can protect. I can pull the enemies to me, and it's the deepest tank feeling you can get in an MMO, from my personal view.
Completely agree with you, but I think it makes more sense to demonstrate it. Now we are heading directly to the next village called Akarum, and maybe Florian, we can show the action-based combat system by grabbing just a quest and heading out of the village.
Yeah, why not? I haven't done any quests in there, so there should be some available for us. Right now we are in the landing phase of our Pegasus flight. So I fastened my seatbelt and will change the Pegasus again for my mount. There's a really small monitor down there. So now we're riding through Akarum. Akarum is also a small village with all things you need as an adventurer. It's a quest hub. It's also full of NPCs where you can buy your potions. And yeah, as we have seen, there is a Pegasus guy standing around. Let's see, somewhere around here should be our quest giver there. You see it?
On the left.
Yeah. Oops. So, this is Arvo.
A female Aman.
Yeah, I really like to speak to female Aman with my male Aman.
Okay. Could you tell our audience what kind of mission do you have now?
Yeah, we spoke to Arvo. I skipped the text, but I can say to you what she said. She said that she had lost her husband and her brother during a fight, and she's not sad because she's a man. She's very proud, but as a man, she needs revenge. She wants us to revenge the death of her husband and the loss of her brother. So we do have to kill the Bahir, or whatever they are called here, Bashir.
Okay.
So,
go into combat now. So when Florian was riding the Pegasus, he told how he felt TERA. That he felt as a physical tank, as a real, I would say, mighty bulwark. Yeah. It's enabled by the collision detection inside the game, so the monsters are not able to run through Florian's character. And now, as you can see, he is fighting. And could you block? Yes. Again.
Yeah, when he will hit me, when he will try to hit me, I'll block. Oh.
As you can see, the monster runs freely around him and tries to hit him. Block.
Yeah, this is possible because of the collision detection we mentioned before. He can't pass me, and I can block his attack.
Okay. The second part of the action-based combat system is not that you only can block and run freely around, and also the monsters. Also, maybe you can recognize in the middle of the screen there's a small crosshair, like in a first-person shooter. Meaning, when Florian fights, he needs to aim actively on the monsters. If he don't have the monsters inside the crosshair, he will miss the target.
As you can see, when I'm trying to miss it. So, yeah, I've got cooldown on my skills. So let's wait until they are done and I can show you again. So, if I aim not directly, I straight run away.
Pay attention, the minions come.
Yeah, so I will run. No, I've got enough HP, but I want to pull him back. You know the taunt from other games. Taunts are mostly screams, and the enemy runs to you. In TERA, we have got something more impressive. We can pull the mobs directly to us.
Maybe you have also noticed there is no, what I call in other MMOs, a typical target lock. Meaning, you press tab or you click on a monster, then you have a small window open and the monster is corked in a window, and then you can hit on your numbers and all your spells goes directly to the target. In TERA is not the case. Each spell, each attack need to be aimed.
Yeah, it's very difficult for me here. So I have to concentrate the whole time. I have to look what the monsters are doing. Okay, fortunately, I'm a tank. I can just go to the mobs and block every damage with my shield. But yeah, if I'm not a tank, if I don't have this massive bulwark, what do I do as a warrior, Sorg, or whatever?
It's a good question. There are, of course, also classes, you will see them later, who don't have access to a shield skill or the block skill. The warrior, for example, that's a dual-wield guy with two swords in the left and right hand. He is able to perform a dive roll out of the danger zone. Or the ranged damage dealers, like the sorcerer or the archer, they have access to a mighty jump backwards out of the danger zone to escape from the monsters attacking him. So in the end, you can say, okay, we have active block or dodging. We have no target lock. We have to aim on each hit. So in the end, I would say the TERA fighting system is more challenging than an other game. But being more challenged also means being more into the game. As Florian mentioned to the beginning, you really feel as a tank. So you can say that you really play a role, and that makes sense in a role-play game to play a role.
Yeah, really become a tank, actually. So maybe some of you have noticed these icons on the right side of my character, which are popping up eventually. These are the normal icons of my skills, but it's from the system which tells me, hey, this could be the best to use next. So we can create some skill chains by using the skill the game offers us. So it's every fight becomes more dynamic. It's difficult. I have to watch my screen all the time to press the button in the right moment and the right button. So here, I can show it again. Now I need to start my combo attack, and after the third hit, I should get the next combo button. Yeah, and now I pressed too late and just jumped. Yeah.
And so, you missed.
Yeah, no, I strove him, I guess.
So you can say that the fights in TERA, or to achieve a victory or get a lose in fights, it's nothing anymore depending so heavily on the items or the stats on the items. And also those, I would say, those random number generations you have with the probability, how much probability you have to have a block or a successful hit, those times are over. In TERA, your skill on mouse and keyboard or also on the game controller is more important.
I guess I'm done with these guys.
Yep.
But Henning, what would the best combat system be if the enemy is just weak and standing around and just hitting me? So we also have to mention that there is an AI that is extraordinary.
Yeah. The enemy AI from TERA is also completely different, meaning the monsters don't react each time in the same way, like in other titles. So each fight in TERA is completely different because the monster AI can't be predicted. They have access to a huge, I would say, skill set of different counterattacks attacking the players. So we have a smaller video. Let's start it.
Yeah, so the enemy tells what he is doing. So you can see by the action of the enemy that he is starting some skills. So he's raising his hand to throw something or stuff like that. This could be one of the things. Here you see she will, I don't know what she's doing there. This is the big giant spider, but she does something that hurts.
Also, not only the players can evade, dodge, or block, it's also the enemies themselves, as you can see here with the guy.
The enemy also blocks, as I did with my tank. You see here, the mob totally blocks the damage from the archer and starts a counterattack.
Yeah, and also the bosses themselves have different phases, you know, from other titles, that they have different spells depending on how much level or how much HP they still have.
The enemy can also heal, which is probably the most annoying thing they can do, but they do. They heal their minions, they heal in groups. They will do everything to let your team die or their team to stay alive. And, sorry, this was an enrage. Of course, we have an enrage. The enemy is getting red and big, and then it will make more damage. And it summons minions, so sometimes it's the best advice to kill the big mob first, because that he can't respawn his minions afterwards.
Well,
What?
Florian, you see this?
Yeah.
It's a beach area.
Oh yeah.
And we presented a frozen area.
Yeah, maybe we should show some more in-game with a more proper area.
Yeah.
So I've got a second character, my alt. No, it was my first main, Krizara. She is a high elf mage, but afterwards I rewrote the tank. No. No? So Krizara stands in an area that would fit more to this extraordinary place. I would say it's kind of a Caribbean island, a very beautiful romantic coast. Okay, she's near